So today I want to talk about golf lenses, the interpretation of things that we look through, the lens that we look through things. We have these voices and thoughts and beliefs in our head that tint and skew the way that we see the world, the way that we see golf. And I want to make an analogy, because I like analogies, to help you think about it in a different way. Maybe a new way, maybe a fresh way, a first way. And of course, I love to connect how golf and life are very similar. And this is a perfect instance of that. Because if you can see ways that you do this off of the golf course, you'll see ways that you do this on the golf course. So I want you to picture that you're putting on these glasses, these sunglasses, these lenses that you're looking through that translate the way that you interpret your environment and the things that are happening around you. The world gets filtered through these lenses based on your internal dialogue. So think of it this way. If you think about a friend or a family member or a coworker where you have said things to them and then they interpret what you say in a way that would blow your mind. You're like, what are you talking about? That's not what I said. That's not what I meant. We see this a lot in politics. I'm totally not going to talk about politics, but since that's very relevant in the world right now, we can put on a lens of looking for things in people based on our political views. So every time we look out into the universe, we see what we want to see based on our political beliefs or philosophies. So if you said to a friend, for instance, they asked you their opinion on two shirts, and you said, I like the blue one better. In your mind, you're like going, I'm being helpful. It's the truth. That's what I think. And they say, what are you saying? I look ugly or fat in the green one? You're like, what? That's not even what I talked about. You're like, what? That's not even what I was thinking. That's not what I'm saying. You feel like the other person maybe even gets defensive, but you can't get your head around it because the interpretation is so skewed. It's because they're looking through a lens based on their beliefs and identities about themselves. So the lenses we put on, the glasses we wear, the blinders that we put on can be about ourselves and how we see the world. They could be about our dialogue that we're not good enough. So anytime that we fail, we're going to see, I'm not good enough. I failed because I'm not good enough. I made a mistake because I'm not good enough, because you're looking at everything through that lens. I don't matter. If that is an internal dialogue of you, then anytime someone doesn't hear you or picks up their phone while you're talking to them or skips over you in line, you're going to look at that through the lens of I don't matter. Then you're going to get defensive and you're going to get hurt. You could have an inner dialogue that I'm stupid. So anytime you see someone with a raised eyebrow questioning something that you said, you're going to interpret that raised eyebrow as I'm stupid, because you're scanning the universe. You're scanning your environment through the lens of I'm stupid. So any reaction is going to give that more evidence to you and your brain. I don't belong, right? You show up at a party, you get one glance, one look, and you're like, see, I don't belong. I shouldn't be here, because you were scanning that environment for evidence that you don't belong. On the golf course, we can put on lenses too for I'm not good enough. So anytime you mishit a shot, there's your evidence. I'm not good enough, because you're scanning for that. I don't handle pressure well. Also, I don't belong. That's another one, especially when we're dealing with clubs and tournaments and golf associations. If you have that thought about yourself that is unrecognized, you are wearing that lens when you go into that environment. And anytime someone says something or looks a certain way, you're going to interpret that as you don't belong. And you're going to feel crappy. It's going to affect your day and how you show up and how you perform and how you feel. It could be as simple as I just don't hit it far enough. So anytime you go out on the golf course and someone hits it past you, like, see, I don't hit it far enough. And it's giving you an opportunity to feel crappy about yourself, because you put on these glasses, scanning for all the evidence that you can find of different ways that you don't hit it far enough. People are judging me. This is a big one. If you think people are judging you, which by the way, they are, right? We just all judge. But if you worry about what people are thinking and you're worried they're thinking something negatively about you, you're going to be reading everybody's facial expressions, looking for different ways that they're going to judge you. And you're going to be really sensitive to anything they do or anything they say, because you have your judgment glasses on. That can look like just everyone thinks I'm blank. What is it? What's the lens that you put on? Could be about different shots in your game. Could be how you perform in tournaments. It's how you show up in your social circles, how you show up with your family and your friends, how you show up for yourself. If you had a closet full of all kinds of different if you had a closet full of all different kinds of glasses and lenses that you could look through so that you could scan the universe for your interpretation of what you wanted to hear so that you could show up better on and off the golf course, so that you could feel better, what kind of lenses would you put on? What would you choose to wear? How do you want to interpret your environment? You get to pick the glasses, you get to pick the lenses that you look through the world in, but this is bigger than this. I want you to really pay attention to the lenses, and we all do this. Sometimes the lenses can be for crap, and sometimes they can be for our own benefit, and we get to pick. But a lot of times it just goes unnoticed, or it's a habit. So if you find yourself interpreting what people say, facial expressions, different actions that people do. If you do it to yourself, looking for evidence of different ways that you fail or you're not good enough, question the glasses and the lenses and the blinders that you have on that you've instructed your brain to look for evidence in your environment for. And if you could pick, if you could select what lens to look through, what would those lenses be? Because that's available to you. You get to put them on. But our first step is always noticing that we have that option. It's what we're wearing as far as glasses goes, and that we actually have the option. It's just become a habit that we always pick up the same pair of lenses every morning and we put them on. And wouldn't it be great? And how different would life be, your interpretation of your golf game and your experience on the golf course and your experience off the golf course, if you decided to look for evidence, scan your environment through a different lens? I say, give it a try. Find the lenses you're looking through and pick the ones that you want to wear.